Dan. Very nice.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, that's new. Interesting. Okay.
So if it says live, that means it's being recorded, right?
I think so.
Right.
Okay, cool.
And then when we're done and how do I post it?
You just go to your YouTube account to post.
Yeah, you want to generate the link automatically for you when you close it out, and then you just copy that link.
Does it show the link after? If it does, I've missed that before. Is that true, Dan?
I think it does. I'm pretty sure that's how I did it.
How do you? I'm just like super bad at the posting video thing because I think even my first video for the class, I don't know if it worked. So after I exit this, I can just. Guess we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Right. Well, the fact that it's live means it will be recorded, so
Sure.
I'm not worried about that.
Okay, well, I guess tonight our task is to go over any additional questions we have over the review, right?
Right.
Do we have a quiz tonight?
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry about I guess my question was bad. I didn't read the 20 through 22, but that threw me off. But it did bring up another thing that I don't understand, and that's the 0 and 1 thing. But I guess I'll just trust that it's right.
Well,
yeah, that one I didn't exactly understand what everyone was talking about.
Yeah, so I figured that out. So what they're talking about is if you look at the applet and it's showing like you put in a z-score and it shows you your probability, right? If you look at that applet at the 0 point, when your z-score is 0, that represents the mean, right? And then when the z-score is 1, that's exactly 1 standard deviation over from the mean, right?
Right.
Okay,
so that's
so
what they're talking about.
That makes sense then.
And I didn't understand that either when I read that. I was like, what do they want? I mean, it sounded like they were just asking for the same information they already had you put in, but
yeah. And then after I realized that wasn't it, I thought maybe they're asking for a definition or something.
Right.
Yeah, there were lots of confusing things going on, but I don't know. Let's see.
Yeah, they should have asked, what is the z-score? What does a z-score of 0 signify, or something like that? And then what does a z-score of 1 signify? And that would have made a lot more sense, but they didn't.
So what are you guys using for your exam 1 prep? I'm going to try to share my screen and show you what I have here.
I've honestly just been, I'm going through the review and then going back through each week. I like to pull up the notes from each lesson. That helps me. So that reminds me of like the key, like she said, and that some of the more important principles were at the bottom of each of those. That's what I've been looking at. Kind of like the review questions at the end of each lesson. So I've just been using that, and then yeah, the review, kind of making sure I've got the key points. What else? I guess I haven't really taken a look at any of the quizzes yet, but no.
Well, I just in the review that it has in the text, it just I think gives us all the reviews for each chapter. I just put those on an 8 font and just pasted them all in.
Exactly right.
I don't know if that's helpful for you guys, but
review points.
Yeah, I just took each of the review points and just copied and pasted it, as you can see on my screen, so that I think that's going to be the bulk of what I need, and maybe draw a few pictures if I want to remind myself. I think what she said was good. Like, what does right skewed look like on a Q chart? What does right skewed look like on a histogram? And stuff like that visually might be a little helpful, but I think that's about all I'm going to do.
Yeah, I think that's what I'll do about too. I just have to go back through those little applet things and play around with like the histogram one, because that one I'm really bad at using, so I get confused. I'm just gonna have to play around with it. Other than that, the only questions I really have, I think that most of it's been, if you follow along with the reading and stuff, it's pretty self-explanatory. I guess if you guys wanted to work through a problem with me, and actually in that like last section from 24 to 32, just like one or two of those, because I get mixed up sometimes, like the steps you're supposed to do first. Other than that, like, I don't know.
Cool.
I'm okay other than that.
Do you just want to compare some answers for the end part of the or the prep?
Yeah, you could just do a couple of them together, because I actually didn't finish it yet, so that would be great if we could have a walkthrough.
So you're mostly concerned with like the last section, the 24 through 32?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's just kick it off. So the admissions committees for most Masters of Business Administration programs require a graduate management test, GMAT, as part of the application for new students. It has been shown that scores in the GMAT are normally distributed with a mean of 542.3 and a standard deviation of 120.54. The minimum GMAT score required for admission to the MACT program in the School of Accountancy at BYU is 500. But it is rare for students with scores less than 600 to be admitted. Use this information to answer questions 24 through 26. And then it asks, what is the probability that a randomly selected student will score above 542.3 on GMAT? So we know that that's the mean, right? And so because the mean sits right in the middle, we know that there's a 50% chance that you will score above that, right?
Right. The score is 0, so you can also calculate it that way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So what is the probability that a randomly selected student will score below 600? And I guess I should write in my equations. I just crunch them out on a piece of paper or use an Excel spreadsheet and then just paste in the answer. But because we're talking about a single student, we just use the familiar formula that divides by the standard deviation.
Right.
So in that one, then you just did the x minus u divided by standard. So, like on number 25.
So 600 minus
542 divided by, okay.
120, divided by 120.54.
Okay.
And then that's the answer, right? Is that what you guys were getting?
600.
Could you say that answer? Sorry, I can't see that.
0.684.
Yeah.
And that's for number 24, correct?
26, yeah, I'm sorry, 25.
Oh, 25.
And then likewise with 26, it's the opposite of that, so it's 0.316.
Okay.
Is that what you got, Kent?
Yep, I got 0.3.
That's what I got. 0.316 on 26.
Okay, right on.
And we're using, by the way, Stephanie, you use the applet on that, as you probably know.
Yeah.
You get the z-score, and then you use that to find the
And what
problem.
did you guys get on 20? Hold on, where'd it go? 25 then? Above it? Or I mean, wait, below? Because if it's below wait, I shade this one. 0.316. Oh, I got 0.316 for the below one.
Well, you want to shade everything below. Well, you should have a positive number, 600 minus 542, not 542 minus 600.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's what you calculated.
Because I got 0.312 on 26. But
We want to shade everything below the second line on the applet, not the right. You want to use the rightmost line.
okay.
But yeah, I mean, you have it right because you're getting 0.316, which is true, but that's for everybody above, not below.
Right.
Oh, I did this wrong one. Like, how do I do it backwards? It's so weird.
Yeah, take a look at that quick because I think that's going to be important. I think what you might have done is you've taken 542.3 minus 600 rather than 600 minus 542.3, and then you're shading the negative z-score line rather than the positive z-score line. Is that what's going on?
Let me do it again, but
You maybe want to share your screen when you're doing it, Stephanie?
oh, I'm just punching it in my calculator, but
Okay.
hold on.
You don't have the calculator sharing extension installed?
That's right.
No.
Plug in your TI and.
So when I do that, I get 0.478, and so you would put that in the applet, right? 0.478, that's down there. It should be the same for each time. And so for number 20, where am I? Number 25, if it's below it, we shade below which lines? The middle one?
Hey, so
Weird.
I got a question for you guys too. When you're doing these calculations, are you rounding at every calculation that you do?
I'm rounding on the final answer only.
Just the
Yeah.
final answer only. Okay, that's what I was thinking we should be doing, but I just didn't know what everybody else is doing. Because when it's like you calculate a standard deviation first, and then you do something else with it. I'm always wondering, like, should I be rounding for the standard deviation and that, or should I preserve it as much as possible until the end?
Well, I will say that if there's one question that asks you to compute the standard deviation, I do that, and then 2 questions later, it asks me a question to use that again. I think sometimes I'll just take the standard deviation that I've rounded to 3 decimals, but if I have it written on a piece of paper, I always try to use the long one.
Okay, got it.
I think that they try to get I mean, at least if I was creating these tests, I would be creating it in a way that error wouldn't happen because that would be just kind of unfair and it'd open up a can of worms as a teacher to have to deal with.
Right, because they drill in, round to 3, round to 3, round to 3, and then, yeah.
So did you get that figured out, Stephanie? What was your z-score again?
The 0.478.
So 0.478. And then if they're getting above that, let's see. That's the question. Probably the ones that will score below. So the first question is, what would they get if they were below it? So I'm highlighting everything below.
Mm-hmm.
The 6837 up here. And then the next question is, what is the probability that a randomly selected student will score 600 or above? So for 26, we're going to shade above, or you can just take 1 minus, and you get that answer there, 0.3163.
Okay. Yeah. I think I just shaded wrong. I don't know. I did something weird. So. But yeah, I got that the second time.
So the 10th percentile, just to make sure I'm doing things right, did you guys get 387.768?
Ooh. For the which percentile? The 10th?
The 10th, or did I mess that up?
I didn't. I got 344.
That's weird, because we're kind of in the ballpark. What did you get, Brenton? You there, Brenton? Well, maybe we can just go through that one real quick.
Yeah. So you put in 0.1, right?
Right.
And then you got your value there.
Which is a negative z-score. Negative 1.282.
You multiply negative 1.282 times the standard deviation, 1.2 or 120.54, right?
I was I would take Z. Well, yeah, I don't know. I always just set it up the way it's in the book, and then I isolate my variable.
Okay.
But yeah, what is the I guess what is the equation for that then? Do you
Well,
have it handy?
I took it to be the mean plus or minus the standard deviation times the z-score is your value, right?
Mm,
So I have negative 1.282
Uh-huh.
x minus what is it 542.3
Uh-huh.
divided by it's divided by what is it 120 or something?
yeah. Standard 120.54. Wait, so you would take the negative 1.282, subtract what?
Well, yeah. Well, negative 1.282 equals x minus 542.3 divided by 120.4, and then I just isolate x. So I multiply both sides by 120.54, and then after I do that, I add back in 542.3 equals x. Is that what you guys have?
Wait, can you say your whole process again? So you take a negative 1.282 equals x minus what?
Negative 1.282 multiplied by 120.54, the standard deviation,
20.54, okay, standard deviation.
plus the mean, which is 542.3.
Plus 542.3, okay.
And I'm just crunching that out now. Times 120.54 plus 542.3, and I get 387.76.
Yeah.
76. Okay, so what am I getting wrong in that?
Well, it helped me visually, and that's just how I know it's slower, but I figure we have 4 hours for this exam. But it helps me to visually put it down exactly as the equations show. I know my z-score, so I plug in my z. I don't know x, that's what the question's asking about.
Right.
But I know the mean and I know the standard deviation. So I just paste it. I just paste it all in the way the formula is, and then after that is when I go through and isolate x using the rule of algebra.
I mean, I essentially did the same thing you did. I'm just wondering why I got 198.2 whatever. That's strange.
Are you doing it in Excel?
No, I did it just in the like in my calculator on the computer, but that's very odd. All right,
Are you in radians or radial or whatever instead of degrees?
No, that's a good question. I did switch to a programming calculator earlier. I hope that's not what it was. That would be crazy.
I know I've done that before. I don't know, sometime in my academic history.
No, I don't think that's what I did. What did you get for 29? I got 403.679.
I got 461.056.
I wonder if it's my grouping. No. Yeah, I'm definitely doing something wrong, and I think it might have to do with the applet, because what was your z-score when you did, well, I mean...
Negative 1.282.
Mm-hmm.
And then equals x minus 542.3, which is the mean. And then dividing all of that. We're not just dividing 542.3 by 120, but we're dividing x minus 542.3, dividing all of that by 120.54, which is the standard deviation.
Yeah, I understand that, but I'm just not getting the same answer. So what did you get for your z-score when you put it in the normal probability applet? You got...
I put in 0.25 to find the first quartile.
Okay.
For 29.
Yeah, sure. We'll go with that
Okay.
one. And then you got 1.15 or negative 1.15, right?
And my computer actually just quit. Oh no, it didn't just freeze. I'm just using the wrong mouse. Okay, so it's it's 0.25, and I'm using the wrong keyboard. Sorry, I have two computers in front of me, and they're both sharing the same display, so I'm just trying to manage that.
Right on.
0.25. Why isn't that taking it? What am I doing wrong here? It won't take 0.25 in the area?
It should. Maybe you need to click a region.
I'm just going to refresh here.
Yeah.
There we go. So negative 1.15 z-square? Wait, no.
Yeah.
No, actually, I think. Oh, I know what's going on. I think you're.
I think you have to put the 10 percentile on the top in the area. Is that right?
So negative 0.674. I just actually discovered something about the applet, Dan, that might be affecting.
So you have to click. You can't have the other areas showing.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay, I didn't realize that.
I didn't realize that either, and that's actually pretty critical for all of us.
Wow.
What was that?
What was this breakthrough?
So here, guys, here's the key to using this applet, because when we get questions like, for instance, 29, where it says the first quartile of the distribution. So you think quartile, you think 0.25, right? Mm-hmm. But check this out. If I have my app shaded this way, and then I put 0.25, look what happens. It spits out the z-score. But watch. If I unshade this box, look at my real area that I'm computing. It's half that. So
wait, where did you put 0.25? Oh, there it is.
So you can't put 0.25 before you shade the right area. We just want the first quartile, which is just this box here. Then we want to type in 0.25, and then it'll shift those red lines and that z-score the way we want it. Does that make sense?
That was killing me. That's crazy.
Say it one more time.
So if we're looking for, let's say we're looking for an area of 0.25. If we're not careful and we have this shaded like this because we were working on a previous problem, and we put up here 0.25, what we're doing is we're measuring a quarter
of that area
between this area and this area, which isn't what we're looking for. We're looking for the first 25% of data. So we need to unshade this area, and then we can type in 0.25, and it'll give us the z-score line.
Why do you leave the left area?
What's that?
Why did you leave the left area shaded then?
Because on a previous problem, it called for that, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, I think by default it wants to give you the two tails, and I'm not exactly sure why they would do that, but that looks like what they're doing.
But that's something that would have killed me on the exam, I'm sure.
Yeah, it just killed me just now. So then your revised score for 29.
Yeah, let me crunch it now because I'm not sure if I did it right or wrong before. Negative 674 or 0.674 equals x minus 542.3 over 120.4. $61.56. Yeah, so I actually did it correctly when I did the prep work, even though I did it wrong just previously. Is that what you're getting?
For the third quartile, or for the first quartile?
I'm sorry, for the first quartile, 461.056.
No, I still didn't get that. This time I got 387. don't know what is going on.
Well, if you got 387, that's what I got for the 10th percentile. That's what I got for
Oh,
27.
that's for 10%. Oh, you know what? I must have just put in the wrong number. Yeah, okay. Let me check my applet. Yep, I did the 10th percentile. That was it. Okay. I feel better. I feel like we're back on track.
And then the 28th, the 90th percentile, you got 696.
Hold on.
I got in that first quartile, I got 443 point something.
That's what he got. So what is going on? Am I
So
wrong?
I took if maybe I did the shading thing wrong with the quartile thing you just explained. I shaded that left area and then put in the area 0.25. The z-score I got was negative 0.674.
Right.
So I multiplied that by the standard deviation.
Okay,
right?
good.
And then I added the 524.3. Oh.
542.
542. There we go. Just saw that as I read it. Okay, then we should be good then.
Okay, so and then on 28 you got 696.83. Is that right?
I got 696.653.
0.653. Okay, well, I mean, that probably will ding me on a test, but it's within reason there.
Okay, so
It's a rounding error. So 29, I'm going to put in my 0.25 score.
well, don't put the score 0.25. Put in your 0.25 probability.
Right, probably that's what I should have said.
So then for, the third quartile, hold on. I'm getting the same numbers and that doesn't make sense.
So for third quartile, it would be...
Got 461 for first.
Yeah, 461 for first.
Okay, great.
And then
that's just the opposite for
third,
the second.
I got 623. But I'm going to do that now that I've learned that my kung fu is probably lacking.
Oh, you know what? I think you're right. We got to be careful with the third quartile because you got to do 0.75. Oh yeah, okay. So it automatically shades both regions when you do that. When you do 0.75. So that's right. So essentially, you can use the same z-score for the bottom 75% as you do for the bottom 25%, just the sign. Yeah.
Well, how would that one be different then? Hold on. So if you're the third quartile of the GMAT scores, would you multiply it by the mean again?
674 equals x minus 542.3 over 120 point whatever it was. 120.54. And then I just work it out from there. Multiplied by 120.54.
Okay, and then the 461.
So 623.544. Is that what you guys are getting for 30?
Yes.
Yeah, I just worked it out, and that's what I got.
Yep.
And then anytime you see n equals, then you know it's talking about the funky math with the
with the division and the
square root underneath.
Yeah, like the compounded terms or whatever.
Are you guys working that out for 31?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I got 140.021. Is that what you got? Okay.
I did not. I got for standard deviation, or
Yeah, for standard deviation.
I got 31.123. It'd have to be smaller. Remember, it has to be smaller than the 120.54.
You know what I always do? Shoot, I consistently have done this like 5 times now. Instead of doing the division, I've been multiplying. So I need to do standard deviation divided by the square root of the number, right?
Yeah, the standard deviation divided by the square root, or no, yeah, the standard deviation divided by the square root of n, which is 15 in this case.
Yeah, I've done that I don't know how many times and messed it up. Yeah, I don't know why I keep doing it. What do you guys think of the review? Or should we go off there to talk about that?
Oh, I don't know. I think from a technological perspective, it's Hangouts is so much better.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking too. A lot easier to use.
Oh, you guys are talking about the review with that assistant.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was kind of difficult. Especially because I wanted to scroll back up and see what people had written, and I couldn't.
Yeah, not me either.
But I mean, it was helpful that she got on and told us some of the stuff. I got some stuff out of it. But I think if she dropped into our group meetings.
Yeah, she was very nice, and she definitely was helpful. I just think that the platform killed her.
How many people are we able to get on a Hangout on air?
I've seen up to like 30.
Yeah,
So,
I think virtually unlimited. It just becomes manageable at some point.
Yeah.
We should have done that instead.
I actually was prepping a link and ready to post it there, but I didn't want to be, I guess, I didn't want to overstep my bounds.
Right. Yeah, I know what you mean. I think at least all of us were thinking it, like, a much better way to do this. Why are we messing around?
And if I prepped a link, it would have just taken everybody a single click to just get on. It would have been simple, but anyway. I guess it was, I had to. Was there anything at the end that was particularly helpful? I had to kind of go away and missed a lot at the end.
I got booted off, so I couldn't finish it out either. So if they said anything good at the end, you didn't know.
Brenton, was there anything noteworthy at the end that you can remember?
I dropped out too because my wife made dinner.
All right.
I don't think anybody can hold that against you.
It was good though. Pork chops were good. Are we working on 32 currently?
Well, yeah, 31 and 32. Did you end up getting a standard deviation of 31.123?
Yeah, that's what I got. I did 120.54 divided by the square root of 15.
Yeah, so I had to redo my the 32 because obviously I had worked off of a wacko standard deviation.
But for that one, it's saying, what are the mean and the standard deviation of the distribution of sample mean score for all such samples? Is that just the 31.123?
Yeah, that's what I got.
Okay.
And then for 32, the probability that you could get 15 samples that would be where their mean was 600, I got a probability of 3%. 0.0319. I guess I should say 0.02.
Yeah, that's all right too. Yeah, you put it in if you got to feed that value, you get back in to the applet, and I again had the wrong region shaded, and that'll get you. Z equals. Yeah, so my z-score was 1.8539, and then my probability was 0.0319.
So how do you go about getting the z-score for that one?
You got to do the sample mean minus the population mean, and then you divide that by the sample. Was it the sample standard deviation, which is your which you calculated in 31.
Yep.
Yeah, and that'll give you your z-score.
Sample mean.
Yeah, so in other words, you just plug in 600 minus 542.3 divided by 120.54, which is also then divided by the square root of 15. And that'll get you your z-score, and with that, you plug in the probability applet, and I got 0.032.
Yep.
Let's see. So the z-score, what was the z-score that you guys got?
I got 1.853 or
1.853.
Yeah. So 1.6.
1.854. Same thing, I guess.
Yeah.
600 minus 542.3. 57 divided by 20.54. Right.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to ask Ashley about that 221B class. It's actually a class that I wanted to take if I had to take a statistics class, but this one was required for the software engineering major. But I want to do bioinformatics, so I thought it would be better to take that class. But
What's the difference?
so the A is business, B is health and like epidemiology, and C, I can't remember what C was, but it's another branch of statistics. What the heck was it?
Oh, that's right. It just has to do with what kind of statistics you're looking at, right?
Yeah, exactly. So essentially all these classes are the same class, they're just framing all the questions differently.
Sorry, just one question, guys. So you want 600 minus 542.3 divided by 120.54? Is that right?
No,
And then divide it again by the square root of 15, which is the n, which is just above question 32. That's kind of the new data that we needed to incorporate.
yeah. So you need to divide it by the standard deviation of the sample. What is it?
Of the sample distribution, the distribution of sample means.
Yeah, the standard deviation of the. I get just lost in the terms.
Yeah,
I mean, I know which one to calculate. I just don't know what to call it.
So the numbers that I'm dividing is 600 minus 542.3 divided by 31.123 or divided by 120.54?
No, you're right. 31.123.
Okay,
Right.
that's what's getting messed up.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I almost forgot that we just crunched that out. So yeah, we have the standard deviation.
Right.
Divided by the square root of 15.47. And did you guys, for the z-score, get 0.479?
No, I got 1.85439.
Oh, okay. So when I divide by the 31.123, that's my z-score.
That's your z-score, right?
Yeah.
And so the divide by 15, the square root of 15, where does that come into play at?
We already did it in 31. That's how we got
okay.
the 31.123.
Okay, 1.854.
So like the standard deviation of values is the first, that 120.54, and it's a
Mhm.
pretty wide range. But then when you start getting the means, all the means of your samples, you're getting really close to that mean with every set of samples that you take. So
Yeah.
the mean distribution is a lot closer to the line. So that's why it's so much lower.
Okay. Sounds great.
So final answers on that was 0.032. So is that what you guys worked out?
Yeah,
And you put
that's
into
what I
the
got.
app?
So ask everybody's not.
Now, do we have a quiz? And I'm not seeing it. I have this up here.
Yeah, I thought there was a quiz.
Yeah, there is. It's under group meeting lesson 8.
Oh, this thing. I thought that was like our discussion board. Okay, my bad.
Should we start it, or do you guys want to cover anything else?
I say we kick it off. I mean, we'll work through whatever we find, right? We're not gonna. We don't have a time limit or anything, so.
Well, we have 2 hours, but I'm sure that we'll. Oh, no, it says unlimited. It just says estimated 2 hours.
Right.
That's a high estimate, I think, based on the other ones.
Oh Lord, that's long.
Oh, it is?
It's 34 questions.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, jeez, guys. I'm sorry.
I just need to go to bed.
Oh, right. We might be at this a little while. So I actually, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Here we go. Wait, these are the same questions.
Is this
Yeah,
due tonight then?
I think these are the exact same questions, right?
Well, no.
They look like they are.
I want to start backwards then, since we have it fresh.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah.
So we'll round to 3 decimal places on that. So that's 0.032.
So wait, where are you guys starting? Just starting at the end?
Yeah.
And we can start wherever, really. But gosh, I wish we had known that before we started. But I guess it's good that we reviewed everything, because I definitely had some
So
things
it's going to
off.
be 0.032, right? If we're rounding to the third.
That's correct.
Which one? 0.
34.
What?
This is crazy.
I'm just making sure every number is exact, and it is. Yeah, good. So 0.032 for question 34.
Yep. And then we have 31.123 for 33.
31.123. Oh, is the numbering? Yeah, the numbering's off because of the preliminary questions, right?
Right.
That's it.
And they also asked 2 questions in one on homework, but they didn't in the quiz, of course.
Okay, so 31.12 for 33.
Not with 5. That's it.
32 would be
32 is 542.3.
Yeah.
It's what? 5-4 what?
542.
That team 542.3. Here, let me split it out. Make sure I didn't change it. No, it's the same. So then.
542.3, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
42.3.
The third quartile one. That was the. Hold on. That's the one I didn't ever really understand. Actually, I punched that one in wrong.
So I got for that 623.54, but
Oh no, that's
I
you.
verified with someone else.
Yes, I got 623.54 as well, and we're rounding to the nearest whole number, so that's 624, right?
Oh yeah, thank you for catching that.
Oops.
623. 3.4 or 624. Is that what you put?
624. Yeah, because it would.
Okay, the first quartile question corresponds with 27. Or I'm sorry, no, it doesn't.
With 29, and it's 461 if we round to the nearest whole number.
Thank you, 461.
Right.
That's what I have for 30.
90th percentile was 696.83. Is that right?
696.653. I think this is where your rounding error came in.
Oh yeah. Well,
That would just be 697 if we round to the whole.
Well, yeah, 697. Is that what your rounding error would produce anyway?
yeah, actually it would.
There we go.
27. As it turned out,
That's what you got too, right?
not bad. Oh, what's that?
That's what Brenton got too, right? 697.
Yeah, 697 after I round it.
Good.
Okay, sweet. And then we got 388 for the next one up, the 10th percentile.
Yep. That's what I get. 388.
There's probability, assuming we get a score of 600 or above, was
316.
316, right?
Don't forget you're leaving zeros. I don't know if it matters, but did you say?
Yeah.
Put
And-
the zeros in front.
I should just say leaving 0.316.
Okay. Yeah.
And then 0.684 for 26.
Yep.
That's right. And that's the 0.5.
Yes, 0.5.
500. Is that what we're doing? Just
0.5. We do that one.
I'm just going to put 0.0500 because it doesn't specify.
yeah, that's what I put too. So.
What did you guys put? How did you write it? 0.05?
0.500.
Oh, okay.
I mean, not that we had to, but yeah. All right. Deviation of normal distribution on 24. Wait, is that the one with the 0 and the 1?
Yeah, this is a 0 and 1. So I have mean as 0. So first part is 0, and then this for 23 it's 0, and for question 24.
That's correct. What is the value of the mean of a standard normal distribution?
That
Yeah,
one's
it's
zero.
pretty terribly, but yeah.
That one's a weird one. That's the one they were all talking about that everyone was confused about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I asked a question that was totally unrelated, but we got that answer, which was kind of lucky, I think, for us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
I wouldn't have thought to answer it that way.
Yeah.
So
And
then
that's on 24, right? The 0 on 24?
No, wait.
Yeah, it says the value instead of the z value. What is the z value?
No, wait. 24 is 0, and then 23 is 1.
No, other way around.
Okay. It's like,
20
hold on.
Yeah, 23 is 0. So the mean is 0. If you put a z-score of 0, that is the mean. So take that in 23. And then if you're talking about one standard deviation, that's 1 z-score. So save that for 24.
And that's 24 on the quiz, not on the review, correct?
Yeah, I'm talking about question 24 of the quiz. Answer
Okay.
1. Question 23 of the quiz. Answer 0.
Mm-hmm.
Nitrate concentrations, 22. Does that correspond?
Yeah, those are the same questions.
I have 1.823 and 2.288, and that's what D is. So, is that what you
Yeah.
guys?
Yeah.
Yep, 1.823, and then 2.288.
Okay, good.
Okay.
And then 21, I got 0.233.
Yeah. I don't know if I just got that wrong.
me just make sure it's the matching question. Estimate the standard deviation of the measured nitrate concentration in the drinking water. Non-reactive.
Is that what everyone got? 0.233?
0.2.
That's what I got. Is that what you got independently?
Yeah.
That's what I got, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's not what I had gotten, but I mean, you guys are obviously right.
So for question 20, estimate the mean, which corresponds with question 20, estimate the mean of the measured nitrate drinking water. So 20 and 20 match, and I got 2.055. What do you guys get in there?
I think I'm going to just do this over because I was not getting good values through this whole deal. Observation of knowledge.
I'll let you guys read over that question, and then I'll tell you how I arrived to that number. Brenton, did you get an answer for that?
Yeah, I got the 2.055.
Okay.
You did, okay. Okay, so
This is the first question of this kind, I think, that we've ever received.
yeah, it's between these two values, and they give us the mean plus 2 standard deviations. So
They actually don't give us the mean. That's what we have to compute.
well, I mean, they give us the equation that says the mean plus two standard deviations is x, and then they give us the mean minus 2 standard deviations is this other value, 1.59. So the value right in between those two is the mean, right?
That's right. Yeah. So you just find the mean of the 2 points, and that's the mean. Because we know one is -2 z-score, and the other one is +2 z-score.
Okay.
So 2.055 should be smack dab in the middle, but tell me if that's what you're getting.
Yeah, that's what I got. I just misunderstood. I just like way overcomplicated that question.
Yeah,
I just did it that way, and that's what I got.
I'm trying to hurry, but
I don't know what I have done, but this is not right.
This was funny.
So are we good on that for question 20? Or are you still working through it?
No, that's good.
I mean, I'm sure you guys are right on it, but if you don't mind, Kent, if maybe afterward we could just go over it quickly.
Sure.
Okay, that'd be great.
Yeah. So I'll just highlight that to remind me.
Yeah, I think I need to just probably write it out on paper because I do everything on the computer, but sometimes that's not the best way.
I have it highlighted to cover afterwards. So let's go to question 19. What percentage of the data lies between 4 hours and 8 hours? And we're looking at that. If you scroll up, I'm sure you'll see this box chart.
The whisker plot, right? So it's 50%, right?
Yeah, so I put 50%. In other words, I think. Oh, they are asking for a percentage, so I would put. Do we just put 50? No percent sign?
Or 5.
I think you put 50, just 50.
Yeah.
That's what that girl was saying on the little video thing anyway.
Oh, she did say that. Okay, good.
Oh, glad you caught that.
Okay.
18. What is the third quartile? And that's represented by the end of the box, which is 8.
That's right. Yeah.
That actually is on the homework.
Right.
Oh.
But that's an easy one. I can define standard deviation in my own words.
Actually, wait. I don't know if am I right on that? What is the third quartile? 8? Because isn't it between 6 and 8?
So the third, when they ask for the third quartile, they really want the value at the third quartile.
Okay,
and
good.
Because what they'll ask you is like, are you in the third quartile and that means if you're below that, or if you're in the like when they say the percentile, they'll ask you if you're in the upper 10th percentile or lower 10th percentile or whatever. That's when it gets kind of confusing. But yeah, the line is on the 8.
Okay.
Okay.
That's what I would have done anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, I'm thinking about it right. So 17, I can define standard deviation in my own words. Yeah, I think it's a measure of. We can even give a mathematical description, but I
Right.
think in simple terms, it's a measure of the spread from the mean.
Yeah. Yeah. What location resulted from in the most consistent temperature measures from one seal to another?
The extra-dural measurement, because of the smallest standard deviation, right?
Yep.
Which means it's more consistent.
Right.
Mhm.
So question 15, under certain conditions, the standard deviation can be negative. False. It can never be negative.
No.
You can't square negative numbers and make them negative, so the standard
Well,
computed
and
that.
to measure, yeah, it's always going to be a positive because it's the difference between it. So
Is that?
Does that make sense? Because to calculate the standard deviation, we take the negative spreads and we square them, which makes them positive.
It's essentially a plus or minus value, right? Like it could be plus or minus this mean, and that's what the standard deviation is. So it's Well, okay, but then you go back to the applet, though, right?
Well,
And you
the
look
z-scores can be negative, but the standard deviation, you're one standard deviation away from the mean in the negative direction, but you're still a positive standard deviation away from it.
So the standard deviation itself it's really just a measure of distance. You can't actually have distance.
You can't actually have a negative standard deviation.
difference between it.
Right. Just think of every standard deviation we've worked with in this class. They've not one been negative.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I guess that's true. All right. What is standard deviation temperatures? Okay, so
So for standard deviation, let me see what question this mark matches.
that's for the
I think 14 and 14 match, so I have 0.287.
0.287. Hold on.
How would you do that one again?
I'll have to go up here. So let's see. So here's my table. If you're looking at my, I'm not sharing the right screen. Let me share my other screen. 1 second. All right, let's give you guys another screen here. Can everyone see that okay, or should I zoom in?
No, that's good. Well, that's good for me.
Okay, so for this question, they have some seals. They give us some data here, and then they want us to work through the data according to the table that you see there. So I filled out the table. You can see my equations are just following what they put here. So Bodel, the seal, or bottle, or whatever that name is 37.91 temperature minus the mean of temperatures, which I calculated by adding these together and dividing by 4. I got 38.075. Maybe you guys want to confirm that data if you haven't worked through this yet.
So I got standard deviation 0.715. Is that what you got?
I got 0.287.
7. Wow. Way off. I don't know how I could be off by that much, but
Well, let's work, instead of working backwards on this one, let's pop up a little bit so we can get this data in the order.
Okay.
So let's
yeah,
go
we'll just
to
read
above
it
11.
and do it from the top down. So I'll read the information. It says Jessica Meir, I guess, and her research team measured body temperatures of a sample of diving elephant seals. A thermistor was placed at a specific location on each seal to measure the body temperature. The body temperature of the seals tends to decrease as they dive. The researchers estimated the typical body temperature of each seal at the time they initiated the dive, called the representative temperature of the seal. Thermistors or thermistors were placed in the hepatic sinus of 4 of the seals, named Bodil, Roberta, Larry, and Purr. The seal's body temperature at the start of the dive was calculated to be, and it gives us the list, and then complete the following table, use your work to answer the next questions. So, okay, so I guess the first task is to fill out the rest of the table, right?
Yeah. So that A and that B that are in those boxes, that's just for reference and some questions later. So you can just get rid of those. And if you look on the screen that I'm sharing, well, first thing we have to do is we have to find the mean. So if someone could just calculate this and double check my work.
I got 38.075.
That's what I got. And so I put each seal's temperature minus the mean,
Okay.
and that gives us our deviation from the mean, which is
Okay.
negative for the first 2 seals and which is positive for the next 2 seals.
Right.
And does my data look good there? Did you guys want to just look at that quick and compare it to what you have?
Yeah, I got the first 2 like you did, and I'm gonna do the other one real quick.
I got all 4 of them, like the way that you did it, with the same mean, the 38.075.
Okay. And you got these outputs here.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And then I took those outputs and I squared them. And
Square deviation.
I let these. I wasn't sure if I should be rounding at this point, so I just let these numbers stay long.
Okay. Yeah, I got the same for you. Well, I got 0.007 for the next question.
Well, for 11, what is the value of the number that goes in the position marked with A? That's negative 0.165. Is that what you guys got?
Yep.
Which is up here.
0.165.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I got, and then I also got the 0.007.
Oh yes, negative 0.165. Sorry, I was thinking it was in a different place. Gotcha. And then for B,
So
0.1 or 0.2 or 0.19.
for B, I got for B. Yeah, B was here, so I got a really small number. Roberta was right. Roberta was, after squaring it, Roberta's kind of squared deviation is 0.00680625. So rounding to 3 decimal places, I got 0.007. Did someone confirm that?
So yeah, okay. So mine is actually 0.680625. So I'm off by 100. What is that? A factor of 10 or 100? 100.
Okay, so we have the same answer. We were just getting decimal points in the wrong place.
Yeah. So, but I don't know why I'm off by a factor of 100 like that. That's weird.
Well, 0.825 squared. Let me just. Can someone punch that in the calculator? Make sure we have that right.
It's what Dan's saying. It's negative 0.680625 without the 2 zeros in front of the 6.
Okay. That's what I.
So I have a mistake here. Negative 0.825 squared. Yeah, I'm so glad that you guys did that.
Aren't we glad that we all have each other to check our work? Too bad we can't drag each other into the test.
That'd be nice.
6, 8.
So negative 0.68.
So,
Okay.
so 0.681, is that what you guys are getting?
Yeah, if you round.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, yeah, thank you.
No problem.
I wonder if that's the only other any of my. Actually, it would have thrown my other data off. So at this point, I've got to rework my next questions.
Okay, good. Well, at least we caught it, right?
Yeah, thank you. And I also messed up Per. Poor Per the seal. I got his stuff messed up too, I think. Can you guys confirm that?
Yeah. So I got .00725. So.
Oh yeah, he really is close though, unlike Roberta.
Yeah, because his deviation is really low, so.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Variation or whatever. So
my standard deviation, I'm going to delete that because that's wrong.
So I just want to put in my stuff here. 5. Okay. Alright, what is the quantity equal to the sum of the numbers in the squared deviations column? Okay, look at sigma on that. For number 13, or for whoa, hold on. I swear I just read a question that doesn't exist.
Oh, confusing.
What quantity is equal to the sum of the number in the square deviations column?
What did you get for 14? Wait, but what quantity is equal to the sum of the numbers in the square deviations? 1 point. What quantity is equal to the sum?
Is equal to that? What is that asking?
It's none of these. It would be what that number is the
Is that the standard deviation?
Oh, that's what that column is.
No, it's not. It's not the standard deviation. It's
No, because
Is that the variance?
wait. What is the variance? Hold on.
I'm gonna pull it up in the text. Just
Yeah, let's do that. 'Cause otherwise,
it's section 3, and I'm pulling it up on the screen. You guys can hopefully see this. So lesson 3.
So the variance is the difference between
That's like a squared variance or something. I forget what it's called, but it's not. It's how you compute the standard deviation. It's just not the standard deviation itself.
yeah. So they define variance as the sum of x minus the mean squared. So that's the variance.
So squared
According to
deviation.
Wikipedia. The holder of all truths.
Here we go. So everyone can see on my screen here. So we've done this step, right? And then our sum is this, and that number is meaningless. It's it might have a name, but it's a pretty meaningless number. This is the number that we're interested in, which is the sum divided by 3 in our case, because there's 4 seals, so n minus 1 is 3. So the sum divided by 3 equals our standard deviation. And for that, I got an answer of 0.511 for our exam.
0.511.
Is that what you guys are getting, though?
let's see.
Tell me again how you did that. You took the variance and you divided that by the number of samples minus 1, right?
Yeah. First, I summed all the variances, right?
Right.
Which added up to, for me, to 1.5341.
Then you divided that by.
And I divided that by 3. But I want to be sure you guys have the exact same numbers because we're getting into some really specific numbers here.
Right. Let me work that out here.
Give me a second.
And if you guys just want to work through this whole table and just make sure that everything is right, I mean, I got Roberta wrong, and so I just want to make sure I didn't get anybody else wrong.
So when I calculated it, I got 0.51136 bar. Is that what you calculated it out to?
0.51366. Repeat. Yeah. That's what I got.
1136. Okay.
But that's based on my data. Are you just looking at my information and adding it, or?
No, this is a table that I've made. So.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure we're getting independent answers.
Yeah, no, we're good. So I'm fairly confident in that. So we're gonna round to 3. So that's just 511. Let me show you this page over here on my screen.
I'm getting point as a this what is it? The sum total thing at the very end. I'm getting 0.514, 511.
Yep, that's right.
Is that what you got? Okay. Like 51141 or something.
And just to confirm, you got that using your own data, or did you use my table?
Yeah, I did that one with mine.
Good.
My
So
little here.
Then
You
we're,
want the
we're
screen?
Yep, dogs. Yep, that's what I got. Perfect.
So I've got the article up on the variance, and you can see this is the equation for it right here. So variance is the sum of your x minus your mean squared. So that's that value that we had, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it is the variance, even though it's not really used much or talked about in our text. That's the technical definition of it.
Oh, I'm glad you looked that up. So that the variance is the sum of all the variances, and they just call that the variance.
Well, it's the sum of the difference squared. So yeah.
I'm trying to find where okay, I'm in the same place now as you are.
Yeah. So they say the variance is a set of observed values that is represented by random variable x. So its second central moment, the expected value of the square deviation from the mean equals e of x. I mean, it's just, it's a bunch of jumbled garbage for us people that aren't math majors, but essentially that's what it's saying.
Oh no, I see that now. It's s squared, or the sum squared. So that makes sense. It is the variance. Well, that saved my hide. Thanks for bringing that up.
Well, let's hope, right? Because I mean, I could be completely wrong, or they may have just thrown in random data in there, or random words, and not even thought about it being right or wrong, just expecting us to say we haven't covered this in the text, therefore it doesn't exist, or whatever.
Wait, no, I'm going to disagree with you, and here's why. Can you see my screen still?
Yeah. Oh, look at that! It is in there.
The variance is different. The variance is what I was talking about. In fact, our standard deviation, I just realized, is not 0.511. We have to do one more step.
Oh.
0.511 is our variance, which is different than the sum of the number. And the question of 14 in the quiz says, what is the standard? Or I'm sorry, question 13 says, what quantity is equal to the sum of the numbers in the square deviation column? And that's none of those numbers. It's not the variance, because the variance is divided by n minus 1. So is everyone following?
Yeah, I'm following you.
Yeah, so what we got is not...
And question 14, we need to take the square root of 0.511, and that becomes our standard deviation.
Whoa.
And just look at my screen and look at this table.
That's 0.7148. So 0.715 then would be our answer.
Yeah, I almost want to recompute it though, since I took out all of our decimals earlier.
0.71. Okay, wait. The square root of 0.511 then, right?
I have to start over because I lost that.
Okay, so I got 0.715.
That's what I got.
Okay.
Wow. Oh my gosh, you guys.
Glad that we checked that.
So I'm definitely writing down the the process of how to get standard deviation for the cheat sheet. Like, no doubt that's going to be written word for word on there.
I might just take this table. I think this table is so illustrative.
Yeah, I'm just going to copy and paste the table onto
this table right here.
notes.
Not a bad idea.
That's in section 3, but you have to. It's hidden. You have to click Show Solution. It's right above the 5.1.2 summary,
Right on.
and then click Show Solution. And I think this is kind of the gem.
Wow. All right, so that's what we think our value is.
All right, so I'm dividing 1.5341 by 3. I'm getting that long number with the 6 bar, and I'm taking the square root of that.
Which, you know what? Hold on, let me check. You know what? That's that number that I said right at the beginning.
What was it?
That 0.715.
Is that what everyone got? 0.715?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the first number that I had. Oh, well.
My bad.
It's all right. Hey, but you know what? I'm glad we went through the whole exercise because even though I got it, I didn't remember how to do it right. So, yeah.
All right, so this is 0.715. All right, so let's go to question 8, 9, and 10. Let's start at 8.
Okay.
So a survey was taken. I'm gonna scroll up with my data here too. A survey was taken of purchases at the Crossroads. Open the data file Crossroads purchases. I think is this new? This looks new. Or no, it's not. This is what we did.
That one's on there. Yeah.
And then it asks the question: using software, calculate the mean of the amount spent. And I got 4.771.
Yep.
I had some trouble with this because it was a .sav file, and I wasn't sure how to get that to open. Did it open in Excel for you, or what?
I opened it. I imported all of these files at the beginning of the semester and put them into a folder that I sent to Drive and converted them to sheets.
Yeah, that's what I had done.
Copying and pasting the data into Excel, into that program that they gave us.
So that SAV file, though, I just assumed that I couldn't open it because I don't know what that file format is. I actually thought it was from the SPP or whatever that they had for the other courses. But so if it's openable, I'll open it up and see what we got here.
Well, in the homework, I think it has a different link than in the test.
Crossroad purchases. There it is. Oh yeah, look. Oh yeah. Okay. So yeah, it's .sav.
But you'll just want to copy and paste that into that Excel. If you're on Windows or Mac, that Excel program that I haven't been able to get to run in Sheets, which is the one that they give us to calculate all these things automatically.
Yeah, so I got this imported into Sheets. Now, what did you say? There was one that they had that automatically calculates something for us?
Yeah, it's you can't import it into Sheets though. It's like Excel only, and I'm not on my Windows machine. I'm on my Chromebook now, so I can't actually pull it up.
Is it in that download folder though? If you download the whole set, like you said, because I had done that too.
No, it's somewhere else. I'd have to find the original link.
Okay.
Let me switch over.
I'm
gonna email you this file real quick.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Let me just switch over to my Windows machine. 1 second. All right. Sorry, I'm almost there.
That's all good.
Yeah, I found it. Okay. Sorry, it just, you know how Excel, you open it up and all your recent documents show up? I wasn't sure where I saved it. I just knew how to get it.
I love that.
So you should have that in just a minute or two.
Be great.
All right, so for question 8, I got 4.771, and for question 9, use software to calculate the standard deviation, I got make sure I'm looking at the same data. Yeah, 1.911.
Okay. Well, okay. So I got for 8 4.771, and for 9 1.912.
Yes. 1.9. I got 112. But I'm going back to my spreadsheet to see.
Yeah, I got. Yeah, that's different.
Yeah, I'm looking at the chart, and Stephanie or Brenton, maybe you could chime in. What did you guys get for?
Yeah, for our standard deviation and our mean.
I got the same mean, 4.771, and then the same standard deviation as Dan, the 1.912, not 1.911.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
So
I'm sorry.
That's just me, though. I don't know.
That's my rounding error. 1.912.
Yeah.
okay. Okay, good. So I feel much better about that. What do your guys' histograms look like?
I put 2 up because I'm never sure how much they want them, isolated each group. So I put a 5 and a 10 up. On my
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I just used the Google built-in thing just now, and it did, I guess, I don't know what it did 11 samples, and it's like, goes up to about 20 or something.
So should we start from 1 and go through the rest of these in order through 7?
Yeah, sure.
So question 2, which of the following variables is or are categorical? I have a randomly selected brand of toothpaste. A brand would be categorical, right?
Right, because it's not non-numeric, right?
Yes.
And age and years, depending on the study, an age could the vehicle age could definitely be, like a piece of numerical data. And then the number of animals in the local zoo seems to me that it could definitely be a numerical data. What's weird about these for me is I think that if it could ever be numerical, we should treat it as such, but you can also see how both of A and C could be categorical.
Right.
Right.
You're studying only zoos that have 400 animals or more, so that's kind of a category. Like, we're just going to look at that category of zoos.
Right. Or we only want to see cars that are older than this or in this particular range.
Just vintage vehicle study.
That is, yeah.
The category vehicles.
But yeah, we'll just keep it simple, right?
Yeah, I think B is correct. Just B. Do you guys agree?
Yep.
Yes.
I think so, because the other one's more numerical.
All right. So for the next one, let's see. The IQ test the average is 100. The mean score was 112. Which of these two numbers is a parameter and which is a statistic? Does that come across in the quiz?
It does. I put 100 and 112 are statistics, and 20 is a parameter.
So I put 112 as a statistic and 100 as a parameter.
That's what I put.
Well, what about the 20 randomly selected? Oh, well, I guess that's not part of theirs. Okay, so then I got to rethink that. So walk me through that, guys.
So 100 is the parameter, right? Because it's something that is given as like a fact that we just have to accept.
Okay.
And, like, in other words, it's a parameter of the study, and the statistic is the data that we collect. And so
That's sometimes unknown.
yeah,
Based on the parameter.
right.
Okay, I get it. So we know, since we're given the 100, we're making, that's just the population. Everybody in the United States was, I guess I just assumed, because it's impossible to really know exactly everyone's IQ for every single person in the United States, that 100 was also a statistic. But
Yeah, well, you know, the vernacular, unfortunately, the vernacular is, oh, you know, that's a statistic, but the truth is that's, you know, it's not really.
But in our narrow context of this problem, 100 is the parameter given, and 112 is the statistic computed.
I believe so.
Okay, no, that makes sense, and I'll go with that.
All right, so the next one, Rotherham City has 4 distinct neighborhoods. The property values are very similar with each neighborhood, but they vary considerably from neighborhood to neighborhood. One neighborhood has a very low property value and another has an extremely high property value. Property taxes are usually roughly proportional to the property's values. What type of sample should we collect to gauge the residents' responses to a proposed increase in property tax? And I put an SRS, a simple random sample.
Yeah.
Of the whole-
So, yeah,
I recommended a stratified sample.
the stratified sample. Okay, so stratified sample we separate into groups.
You go into each neighborhood, and then within each neighborhood you choose 50 random samples. So you do an SRS, but you do it within each neighborhood. So 50 from this neighborhood, 50 from that, 50 from that, 50 from that. Totally random within the neighborhood. But maybe I'm thinking about it wrong.
The stratified random sample.
Right.
Well, I could see that because, yeah, you're right. Because if it was just a random sample,
Yeah, they're going into both neighborhoods, not just one. So I mean, the stratified samples where you choose a whole bunch of different ones, and then you choose small samples out of each individual group.
yeah,
Okay,
you can do
so-
that a little bit.
So this is what I think this gets into is like almost a political thing because, you know, say your richest neighborhoods have fewer residents, right? So if you say, well, we're going to randomly select some people from each neighborhood, then you give the richer neighborhood a disproportionate amount of influence over the poorer neighborhood. Based on that kind of a survey, right? I mean, if the populations are dissimilar.
Yeah. Well, I guess here's the trouble. Why did they give us the information in the question? Did they do it to distract us to see if we would go for the bait, or did they give it to us because it made sense to structure the study around it? I agree that a simple random sample is important, but stratified has that element as well as just an overall SRS. So I'm just worried that they gave us information that they wanted us to immediately discard.
Yeah, well, it could really be either way. What do you guys think, Stephanie and Brenton?
I'm just reading it again.
Which one is this?
I don't know
Number
what I
4, right?
Number 4, yeah.
I just submitted the quiz and I got stratified.
You got stratified?
Yeah, sorry, I have to go. I have a commitment right now.
All right, that's cool. Well, thank you for hanging on as long as you did.
Yeah, you're welcome. With what I got an A-, so there was just 3 a couple that we had negatives on that weren't supposed to have negatives. I don't know if you guys want me to tell you which ones.
Sure.
I'm looking through to see what would be negative in our answers.
On question 13 on the thing online, or on question 12, I put negative 0.681, and it's just 681. I don't know if that was my fault or someone else's fault.
I have 681 already.
Okay, yeah, that was my bad then. And
Number
then
12?
on 13, yeah, and then on 13, it's none of these is correct. It's not the variance, it's D.
Okay.
Well, right. Yeah, I think we agreed on that. Any others that threw us through a loop?
And then on question 3, it's A and B. 100 is the parameter, and 112 is a parameter.
Oh wow, that's opposite of what I would
They're both parameters?
have thought. But maybe we can go back to the text and look through that.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, we'll look at 3 for sure. Wow, okay. And then you said you had gotten stratified for the one that we were just talking about.
I sure did.
That's cool. All right.
Thank you so much, guys. Good luck on the tests.
Thank you too.
Thank you too.
Thanks, man. Thanks for hanging on.
If you guys need to do a Hangouts on there, just let me know and we can do it during the test.
All right, right on.
Have a good night.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Finish these last couple real quick and
Yeah, we're almost done. So,
All right, question 5.
go to your friend.
when designed experiments are conducted in public school systems, researchers typically choose a particular district and randomly select teachers of, say, 4th grade students in the district. The experiment is then conducted using the students in the selected classes. Which type of sampling scheme is implemented? So,
I think this is a classic cluster.
cluster, right?
The cluster samples all items in one or more randomly selected clusters or blocks. So all students in this case in one randomly selected teacher class.
Right. I would agree.
Cluster random sample.
So for 6.
Yep.
Fundraiser, name of every person who attended who was entered into a drawing at the end of the evening. 6 names were selected to receive door prizes, which sample sampling. So that was every person at the end of that. So just systematic random or
I figured this one was just a simple random sample. That's what I had written in, but am I thinking about it wrong? Because the study just involves people who attended.
Right, well, they were automatically put in, it sounds like.
Right, they were automatically put in, so, and then only 6 of them win, right? So
Yeah, so probably just a simple random. No, yeah.
Yeah, that's.
Because it's also
the only other one that I would have thought was the convenience of people that come to the dance.
the voluntary, right? Yeah.
But convenience isn't an option here anyway, which is the only other thing that I thought might have made sense.
Oh yeah, because voluntary isn't a type. Convenience, right?
Yeah.
Right. But what's systematic? I want to look at that quick.
I think that's right.
Yeah, it's not systematic either.
No.
It's not like the first 6 people that came through won.
Right, and it's not like they picked the 17th draw from every set that they drew or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right. We assume they just reached into a hat.
Right.
Okay, yeah. Cool. So we're going with SRS?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
What do we do here?
The SRS for the drawing.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote something else in my homework. I'm just looking at it again quick. I put stratified again. A special interest group is conducting a survey to adequately gauge options on both sides of the political spectrum. They stratify, don't they?
Sorry, I completely skipped question 7. I mean, I had answered it. I put stratified also, but I forgot that it was on this quiz. So yeah.
Yeah. So for question 7, I put stratified because they're picking 2. They're specifically picking 2 parties and then doing the SRS within them.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, so it's more narrowed down. Yeah.
All right. So I have all my questions answered, and I'm just looking for my leading 0 in all my answers quick.
Okay. And do we want to just quickly review the number 3?
Yes. Yeah, we have to do that too.
Um,
And you said they're both parameters?
Yeah, they're both parameters, but I want to go back to the text and really study that out so I make sure I have it figured out. Probably just take a second to find it. That's probably in an earlier, like,
Okay, so
chapter or two. Have you found?
just the Google search method yielded parameters and statistics are both numbers which are calculated. The difference between these two terms comes from where you get the numbers. A parameter is any number calculated from a population. A statistic is any number calculated from a sample. So.
Well, I guess that makes sense because it was giving us the mean, so I'm implying that they had already like retrieved that result from another population or something, right? Like they must have had to have other results to get that mean. It's not like the set value or standard of the nation. It's just saying the mean IQ test score in the U.S. was 100, so that would make sense because it's based off of other data. And I guess we already thought 112 was a parameter anyways, didn't we?
We did,
because
we determined
their scores were based off that same information. So I guess if you look at it that way, then that would make sense.
Well, hold on though. So what they're saying is the IQ score of the United States is 100. That is the population. So information about the population is always a parameter, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, and then a statistic is the number calculated from our sample. So our sample, in this case, is we took randomly selected students, and we got their mean score, and that was 12. So I take that to mean that that's a statistic. I mean, I think this is one of those where they actually had the key wrong.
Well, but remember, you're getting your answer from Google, and maybe in the context of the lessons, you know, they make a lot of assumptions, and they give us a lot of answers that might not be right. Like, for instance, if it's not a normal distribution, if n equals 30 of the sample means, then we're just going to consider that a normal distribution, even though maybe in reality it's not that way.
Okay.
I think, you know, they're giving us the population data 100 of the United States. Well, I don't know. I can't even find anything in the text. It says in lesson 2, one of the outcomes is distinguish between a parameter and a statistic, and then the word parameter doesn't appear at all in the rest of lesson 2.
Right, exactly.
I mean, maybe I need to blow up those little show solutions or something to see if those become searchable in my browser.
Maybe that's it.
Maybe it's embedded. Maybe the answers are embedded in a video or something.
Back to Alright. So,
but
well, this is Brother Cromer from the Maths Department of BYU, Idaho, and this first video is covering this.
so he has little slides embedded in here, so I think I'm just going to skip ahead.
I think I might just submit mine though.
yeah, go ahead.
I have to go help a friend with some actually music tutoring before I go to bed. But
No problem.
yeah. But how do I? Okay, so after I exit this, I don't want to like put this up wrong.
Well, once you exit, we'll get booted off, but Dan and I can either continue, you know, separately or whatever.
Yeah, we can just open up a Hangout, not necessarily a Hangout on air, and just keep going like that.
Sure.
No, I just want to make sure I upload this correctly.
Oh yeah.
So after I hang up, where does that link go to? Can I just post it on the discussion board, or do I have to?
Well, after you end on air, see if it gives you a link. Dan, you say it does give you a link, right?
I believe it does. I'm just trying to remember what it looked like when I did it. I thought it gave me a link in the upper right, just a text link. You know, it was like a copy this link to share it with others kind of thing.
Yeah, regardless if you see that link, Stephanie, don't worry. It's going to be in your YouTube account, and you can go to YouTube and then My Channel, and you'll find it there. So don't worry about losing the video. It's going to be there one way or the other.
Yeah.
And you have my phone, so if you have trouble, just give me a call.
Okay, very well. So should I push stop broadcast and then exit?
Yep. Stop broadcast and then exit, and then Dan, I'll just.
Sorry, I'm really bad with computers.
That's
We'll
right.
see you.
Thanks, Stephanie. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Stephanie. Bye.
Yeah.
See you later.
Bye.